5 ways to have more fun when you're detailing.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
And this is the DIY Detail Podcast. Today we're going to be going over 5 ways to make detailing more fun, more enjoyable, and more pleasurable for you. You know, detailing should be fun. Even if this is your career, it should still be fun.
We got into this podcast idea because we wanted to not only talk to maybe detailers who do this for a living who might be getting a little burned out, but also the enthusiasts at home, right? This is what we're talking about. Detailing should be fun. We're here to amp up the fun part of it. And this doesn't involve buying more products. So get that out of your head. These are just tools you can use. They're free ones for you. Use them how you want. Number one, I guess you got to get one of these, right? Foam. Foam cannons.
Yeah. Foam cannons. Arguably, they are fun. Now, if you're doing this for a living, I would say no. They're going to take away from your profitability. They're going to take away from your time. Therefore, maybe a bit of the fun. But if you're at home, a foam gun or a foam cannon or a foam lance, depending on where you are in the world, it just adds to the experience. It adds to the fun. Now, a lot of us are into rinseless washing. And rinseless washing is one point where I find foaming maybe not be as much fun, because you have to do a lot more work afterward. Saw a video earlier this week of someone testing out a foam cannon with rinseless in it, and it just foamed so much that they had problems drying the vehicle. So foam has its place. It's got a good place as a pre-wash, as things like that. But it also can take away a bit of the fun as well. So you have to put it in a good dosing.
Well, and also I've been thinking about detailing as meditative too, and it can get unhealthy if you do too much of it and you're neglecting everything else in your life, but It's also a great break from the stresses of life. And there's something about that foam. I have no idea what it is. Sometimes words don't suffice in this thing we call life. You know, you look out at the skyline and nature, and like, no words can meet the moment, you know? And I feel the same way with foam. It's like, there's just something about foam that is relaxing. So whether it's more fun or better for your own relaxation, we all know foam can be amazing.
Yeah, and, you know, depending on what soap you're using, it smells really good too. So that adds to the fun of it as well. You know, you've got the bubbles, you've got the foam, you're getting to use a tool. As a, you know, car guy and a tool guy, of course, I love using tools. So that really, you know, plays into that.
Another way to have more fun doing this, and as I think it's so interesting, especially as guys, I think it's harder to find friends. You know, when you're in school, you just have friends your whole life, and then everyone pairs off and gets married. And the only way I feel like you kind of get friends as an adult is by doing stuff. When you have an excuse to do stuff with other guys, that's where the friendships are formed. And I've had so many friendships through detailing, which I'm so grateful for. A lot of them are online. Thank you to the folks who write in the comments. I feel like we know a lot of these folks. You know, we're kind of like online friends. But I've actually met a lot of folks through detailing as well. And one thing that you don't usually do is like go hang out with a guy. But when you're washing a car together or you're in the garage doing something, anyway, it's just whether it's a family member like your spouse or a buddy, detail your car together, polish the car together, like involve another human being. And it takes what can be a very lonely thing, Ivan, and it makes it more of a social activity.
For a lot of people, definitely it is it can be a lonely thing. Some people use detailing as an escape to get away. So that's one way to look at it. But adding in a family member, adding in a friend. One of our DIY tubers this week had a video where he was teaching his nephew how to wash a car, and they both had fun. And detailing should be fun, and it should be something you can share. It's not a solitary passion. Sylvie and I detail together all the time, and it is part of what we do. You know, it's a great date night activity for that matter. You know, if you're wanting to impress a new person in your life, wash the car with them. It is an activity that you can do with your kids. You can do with your spouse. You can do with your friends. You can do with your brother. You can do with your sister, your parents. We have one person that watches and comments quite often that he details with his grandfather. That to me is great. You know, that is what detailing should be, bringing people together. When I was a kid, detailing, which was more car washing, the term detailing didn't exist by then, but it was Saturday morning. You'd see the fathers out there in the driveway washing cars, and occasionally the kids would be helping. And I was one of those kids helping my father. And it was just a great time. And that is something that we wanted to bring back with DIY, is that community, that fun. And, you know, part of the detailing for us, and you mentioned it, we have people that comment on our videos, and you know, we have one that I think he comments on about 200 videos a week, not only ours, but everyone. And that's Humberto. first from Puerto Rico. And he's just such a nice guy. And when you meet him in person, he is just effervescent. He's fun. He's friendly. And you want to detail a car with him. And that's the type of person that we have. And in our Facebook group, same thing. People are there to share. They're there to have fun. They're there to help each other out. And that's part of the fun of detailing, is that community as well.
100%. 100%. Speaking of a YouTuber, next on our list, it was kind of inspired by Rad Garage, Rick from Rad Garage. You know, like that whole idea of like pimping out your shop. How can you have more fun detailing, Ivan? Let's kind of riff on that for a second. Give some folks some tools they can use, but the inspiration is, to have a garage like Rick. It will make your detailing experience more fun. And I know not everybody can afford that, but like let's take that thread.
Well, Rick has built that garage over the years. It's not something that happened overnight. And he keeps perfecting it. He keeps improving it. He keeps modifying it a little bit to make it a little bit better, a little more enjoyable. And that's one of the joys of detailing. It's being able to grow with it, being able to add those little things. And he just recently got a pressure washer set up and was able to do that. And he produces videos not to educate. His videos are very, very, they are educational, but they're very cinematic. And for him, going into his garage is really his man cave or she shed, or, however you're looking at it, but it's his man cave and it's his passion, and it's the escape that he has from his stressful job. He goes in there, makes a video, takes his time. And, we mentioned foam. Rick is the master of foaming things. He even makes foam go from the floor up onto the car. We don't know how he does it, but must be an editing trick.
There you go.
Yeah. But nonetheless, having that space, and it gives you something to look forward to. It gives you, okay, I was able to do this. I put a new floor in, and then, if I put a shelf there, I'll do this. And it gives you other things to do as well. But that trying to make that space your own, and, whether you're in a garage or just in your driveway, those are things. And another thing, so we'll, use this to piggyback onto the next one, that's organization. And organization for me is fun, and especially for the professional detailer, because now that organization breeds efficiency. That efficiency will bring you better quality, more satisfied customers, but also you're going to take less time doing the job because you're organized. And that to me is really, like Rick doing his garage, for me, it was organizing and making it so everything is more efficient and faster and easier.
So we're kind of packing two into one, really. I mean, the crux of this is having an organized setup, whether you're an enthusiast or a pro.
Yeah. Well, Bruce's garage, a little while ago, he finally put his pressure washer with a reel on the wall, and that modified detailing for him forever, because it used to be take the hose out, set the hose up, set the pressure washer up, bring it out, do all of this. And now all he has to do is flip the switch, blow out the hose reel, and he's detailing. So little things like that, little changes. He didn't buy a new pressure washer and all that. He just organized his pressure washer a little better. Those are things that for him sped up the detailing. So now he can have more fun detailing because he has more time to do it. Before, if there was a half hour of setup and a half hour of tear down and he had a 2-hour span, I'm not going to bother because I'll only have an hour to do the job. Whereas now he's got an hour and 55 minutes to do the job if he's got a 2-hour span. So that's more time to have fun. And efficiency, from my point of view, also brings a lot of fun in the sense that I can spend a little less time detailing and a little more time driving. And, we have these cars. They're not just to clean. They're not just to look at. They're there to drive too.
Well, how should we set up, like, let's say somebody is just starting up a side hustle and they're detailing out of their sedan, or maybe out of their SUV, or maybe they're lucky enough that they have an actual van. How can they be super organized so they're taking the least amount of time getting their stuff out? Because I remember when I did mobile, part of the process was you were BSing with the customer. You're shooting the breeze. So there was going to be some of that setup time anyway, because you'd be chatting with them. But I always kind of coupled the shooting the breeze time with them, and as I was getting all my buckets and stuff out, like a good half an hour at least, and then a half an hour breakdown. Like, how could I speed that up if I'm mobile?
If you're mobile, it really, really comes down to organization and also just bringing the stuff that you need. And this is one of the things that a lot of people find fun about detailing, but when you get into the professional realm of detailing, it actually takes some of the fun away. And that is buying and trying new products. And when you're buying and trying new products as a hobbyist, buy the small quantity, don't go out and buy gallons of stuff and try it. And even if, you're dedicated to one brand, occasionally reach out and try something else. It's fun. And, we have a lot of people in our group that they literally don't buy gallons because of that, because they don't want to be stuck with all this product. And not that the product that they're trying isn't good or it's good. It's just, I want to try other things. When you cross into the professional realm, it's the other way around. You don't want to be trying. You want tried and true. You want something that you know is going to work, is going to do the job. It's not going to frustrate you. You're not going to have to learn anything new in order to do that job. But learning is another great part of detailing. But we'll get back to the organization. Being organized, having everything ready to go, not searching for things. So as an example, someone has a van. There's a friend of the channel, Ralda's Detailing. Tony is a great guy, and he is divided.
Makes amazing detailing vans.
Yeah, they're spectacular.
Dream, to get one of those.
Yeah, for any mobile detailer, when you see, Tony open up those doors of the van, it's like an aha moment. It's like, oh wow. But that is through years of practice and organizing and changing and modifying that he's got it down to a science, and he can teach you to be more efficient. He can teach you to use all those tools and the way it's set up. You can copy that. He sells kits. You don't have to have him build out the whole van. He'll sell it in parts. But what I'm saying is being organized like that makes your job easier. And if you just have a pickup truck that you threw everything in the back of a pickup truck, or a sedan that you just threw everything in the back of the sedan, and you have to take it all out of there to find that one thing, that takes a lot of the fun away.
Well, it's tough because when I had my truck, I was out of a Tundra for a minute. I didn't have any place to store this. I don't know. The truck became the storage, and then it piled on top of each other, and it felt like it took 2 hours to organize my stuff that I didn't have out of the day. There's only so much. But I'll tell you, man, when everything was nice and organized, it was a joy. It was truly a joy. So if you can stay on top of it, that's the best way to stay organized, right? Not to try to figure it out later and pile everything into a big heap.
No, and taking a few minutes at the end of a job to make sure you're putting everything back in its place where it should be, how it's supposed to be, and setting yourself up for the next job makes it a lot more enjoyable the next time. It's like, when you're a kid, did you make your bed in the morning? Maybe not. Well, if you did, and you cleaned up your room, when you got home from school, you'd walk into the room and everything was clean, everything was organized. It made it a lot more fun. Whereas opposed to having your parents sort of yelling at you or not being happy with you because you didn't make up your room and things like that. If you took 5 minutes in the morning to do that, then when you got home from school, everything was a lot better.
Totally.
And it's the same thing.
I deal with that too with my kids, and the beds get made, but then the floor anyway. But that's on me to set expectations. And we've done this, and when we record videos, sometimes early on, I would leave it messy, and you're like, "No, Nick, we clean the shop up at the end of the night." And it's like just having that mentality of it gets cleaned up before the job is done.
Yeah,
and it gets organized, right?
Exactly, and it makes starting the next project easier because now you're not looking for stuff. You're not in the middle, and especially with us with filming. If we're in the middle of filming and then all of a sudden it's like, where did this go? And we have to look for it. That stops the camera, stops the flow, doesn't make it as fun for the people watching us as well. So,
and it doesn't make it as fun in the moment doing the job either, Ivan, recording. All right. Speaking of recording this content for education, Ivan, you talk about education actually makes things more fun, which hopefully I could, sell that to my kids, right? But it's learning makes detailing more fun. How does that work?
For me, detailing has been a 45-year journey so far, and I learn every day. And that to me is part of the fun because I know there's no end to this. There isn't a day where I will say, I know everything, because that's impossible. And that's part of the fun is you're always growing. You're always bettering yourself. You're always learning a new technique, a new way. Someone will show you a new little trick. It's simple little things, but it gives you that joy of, oh, wow, I learned this and I'm getting better at it and I'm getting better at it. And that is, for me, one of the big funs of detailing is I'm always learning. I'm always improving. And there's always room for improvement as well. And that room for improvement means I have something to strive for. And when you have goals in life and you achieve them and you see another goal a little further and you achieve that, it makes it so much better and a lot more fun. I look at it as, if you're an employee and your only responsibility is to be the other person's assistant, and that's where the job ends. There's no ladder to climb. That's a job. But you have more fun with a career, because a career, you have a ladder to climb. You have different echelons to go up. And as you're going up the ladder, you can see the next rung and you want to achieve that. And when you achieve that, you get a little dopamine rush and it's fun. And, I got another accomplishment, and you accomplish things. And that is very, very satisfactory. It's a lot of fun. And when you learn a new technique and you try it and it works, and it's like, oh, wow, that's fun. So like for me, I recently learned how to use a foam cannon. It wasn't something I used for all my detailing career up until a couple of years ago. And that was one,
actually.
that's, yeah. But it's true. I had one, never used it. Because to me, as a professional detailer, there's not a lot of room in professional detailing for foaming if you want to be efficient and profitable. If you're doing it for fun, of course, foam is fun. But there are other ways. But I digress here. But like I said, 40 years into my career, I learned how to use a foam cannon, where some people, that's the first thing they start with. So you're always learning, you're always improving, you're always getting that next little nugget of information. And going back to our first point or our second point is you can share that with someone else as well. And when you're able to educate other people with what you've gained, that's what, to me, makes it a lot of fun.
Well, and I want to circle back to the beginning as well. You talk about education and you talk about obviously enjoying it with somebody else. We promised this wouldn't be about products. We sell products. This isn't even about us. I'm talking about, getting the reel on your wall for your air compressor hose, getting the nice air compressor, getting the nice pressure washer. Some of these tools, a nice steamer or, a nice LaCroix Cruiser or Rack Attack Creeper or Viper Chair, whatever it is, like some of these do make the detailing a lot more enjoyable. So it's like, how do you know what to spend money on? Because there's that temptation, Ivan, that if I spend money on a really quality item that I'm going to use hundreds of times, it will pay for itself. It will make me more efficient. It will be more fun. Like imagine like a nice Kranzel setup versus your $100 Ryobi and the cord is snagging and everything is not working right. I don't know. Not to say names, but there's a temptation to want to spend money because you think you're going to make it more fun. And can you give me some wisdom there?
Yeah, there are times when, like you say, spending a few extra dollars is going to make it a lot of fun. And for me, it's like polishers. I love polishers. I have maybe 100 of them at this point. So it's just, trying different tools, and that is fun. But like you said, there are very practical things that you can do. And they may be a large investment, they may be a small investment, but like adding a cord reel and a better quality cord and a better quality nozzle and having a swivel on the end so your hose isn't always snagged and in a bind. Those are little things that you can add, and you don't need to have them all day one. It's again climbing that ladder and having that, okay, this is the next thing I want to obtain, but I'm not going to obtain it until I'm able to do this or I have this amount of money. If you're putting yourself in debt to detail, then that really takes the fun away from it. So you don't have to go out and buy all this stuff. If you can afford it, yes, it's fun. But at the same time, that's not what's necessary for detailing. You can have a bucket, some water, and some soap, and a couple of microfiber towels, and you can have as much fun as the person with, the fully decked out garage and everything. Because you might be out there with someone you love. You might be out there with a friend. You might be out there, just enjoying the sun, enjoying the day. It is fun. Detailing, if you look at it as a chore, it's going to be a chore. And, Nick, your kids are young. If you bring them out there to help you wash your car and you make it a fun experience for them, it's something that's going to stick with them for life. But if you say, okay, you have to come out and help daddy wash the car, it's never gonna be a fun thing for them. But if you make it fun, the odd little hit with the foam cannon and stuff like that, and go to the variety store. What do you guys call it? Where you buy medicine.
Drugstore?
Pharmacy. Yeah,
Pharmacy?
drugstore.
Yeah, sure.
So go to the drugstore, get some Mr. Bubble or something like that, bubble wash for kids that is safe for them, and put it in the foam cannon. And it's
Yeah.
not going to damage your car. Don't worry about it. But go out there and wash the car and use that and purposely foam them because it's something that's safe to foam. And if it's a hot summer's day, instead of getting the slip and slide, get out the foam cannon.
Oh, there you go.
So little things like that can, when you bring a smile into detailing, when you bring a laugh, when you bring friendship, and when you bring people together, that to me is what makes detailing a lot of fun.
100%. This was a quick hitter, just a nice and easy Friday podcast for everybody leading up to the SEMA show. We are on our way, Ivan, and I promise it wouldn't be about products, but hey, it's the end of the podcast. It's Black Friday sale has begun, so go on over to DIYdetail.com right now. Huge Black Friday sale going on, Ivan. Of course, folks might listen to this in 2 years, so we won't give the details of it just here, but if you're in the chat, it's a big sale. So, it's Black Friday month at DIY.
If you're watching it in November of 2024, it's Black Friday.
Absolutely.
And you can search back in our Facebook group to November 2024 and see what people were saying about it. But it's just one of these things. Yes, sales are fun. And we're not, if anyone in this room is a minimalist, that's me. I live in a bus. I don't even own a home. So
but you buy toys. I saw you bought the Fendo polisher and you got a drone for taking videos of the car.
Yeah, no, we have toys, but yeah.
You love the toys, but they're not huge.
Yeah. But nonetheless, you don't have to spend a lot to have fun detailing. And having a sale makes you spend a little less. So don't, max out your credit card on our sale. We don't want you to do that.
No.
We want you to have fun. We want you to enjoy detailing. We want you to make it something that is pleasurable for you, for your family, for your friends, and everyone around you can benefit from the detailing. There are some people that they make detailing not fun because they get so obsessed with it and so wrapped up in it that it takes over their world. And that's something you have to be careful of. So, make it part of your family, not an exclusion to your family.
That's a great point. And, think about if you're going to get anything this Black Friday month, if you get it, think about it. Will this make it more fun? Will this make me want to clean my car more often? Like that drone kind of motivates you, I know, Ivan, to get better shots when we're filming. And that makes it more fun to record the videos and you get inspired for different shots. So yeah, it's thinking about it through that mindset. Will this make it more fun? Will this up my quality? All those things. Anyway, you don't need our lectures. Ivan, it's been real. We love these podcasts. We're so excited for SEMA. Ivan, you're already on the road, aren't you? There's a video here, by the way.
Yeah, that's why you get a bit of background noise. I'm in a truck stop right now. Oh,
I'm pointing here because I feel like if folks like this video, they might really like this one. And we, folks, we'll see you there.